Hello maths fans, Dr. Tom Crawford here at the University of Oxford, and today I'm taking a Turkish high school maths exam. The exam is called the YKS and is taken by students studying in Turkey around the age of 18, just before they leave high school. There are 2 rounds which cover a whole range of subjects. I will of course only be answering the maths questions. There are 40 of those in total, and these will come from round 1, the TYT. The paper comes from 2021, and as usual, I will post a link in the video description box below where you can download the paper if you want to have a go at the questions for yourself. Although I should warn you, the exam is of course in Turkish. I've used AI to help me to translate the exam for this video, so hopefully there aren't any glaring errors. In total, the exam has 125 questions, and they must be completed in 135 minutes. So this means I have just over 40 minutes to answer the 40 multiple choice maths questions. So, better get to it. Straight in with a weighing question. Vase is using a kitchen scale, measures a glass of water, first empty, then completely filled, and then finally with some amount of water in. The results of the procedures give us this. Accordingly, what fraction of the glass is full at the last weighing? Right, so in the first one it's empty, so let's write this down. So empty, it weighs 280 grams. And then we know full, it weighs 400, and then we know it weighs 355. So the water is 120 and it weighs 75 out of 120. So I want that as a fraction, which is going to be in fives. That's 15 out of, God, what's that 5 times? 15 out of 20, not 25, 24, 15 out of 24. Which will divide by 3 is 5/8. Is that an answer? Yes! Okay, so I think it's E. I'm gonna have to keep track of these, aren't I? Because obviously I'm not writing on the actual answer sheet. I never do. Okay, good. I start. Question 2. The quantity and unit price information of all products of a customer who goes to the cashier to buy the products he has chosen in a market. This translation is displayed on the screen. Right, how much change will the customer who gives 10 Turkish lira to the cashier for these products receive? Oh God. Right, so I'm having to try and, I'm probably supposed to use a calculator, but anyway. So what I think is going on here is we've got, I think, again, don't understand or read Turkish, so 0.99 times 5, so that's giving me 495 for that first item. Then we've got 110, and that's just times 1, and then we've got 125 times 3, again if I've understood it correctly, so that's another 375. So I think that's 495 plus the bottom one is 485, so that's 20 cents, so it's 980 in total. So the change will be 20 cents, which is A, 0.2 Turkish lira. I don't know if it's cents, sorry, 0.2 Turkish lira, that's what I should say. Okay, and speedily moving on to number 3. What have we got here? Okay, microscopes working with 2 lenses makes the image of objects appear larger than the multiplication of the magnification of the lenses. For example, a microscope working with 2 lenses, one of them has a magnification of 5 and the other has a magnification of 20. Oh, so you multiply them together. Gotcha. How many millimeters does the object of a size of something millimeters? Oh God, really? Okay, so I think we've got 12.5 times 10 to the minus 3 millimeters. Okay, sure. And then we've got magnification of 4 and 40, so it's times 160, because it's 4 times 40. So I need to do that product. Yeah? It says how many... What? Hang on. How many millimeters does the image of this object appear? Translation is dodgy here. All right, so I think I'm just multiplying them together. So if I do 12.5, how many times bigger would it appear? So it's times 160. Okay, God. So what's that? That's 1.25 times 10 to the minus 2. So then when you multiply by... Oh, I want to do 160 though. So times 160 is just what? 1.25 times 160 over 100. So that's 1.25 times 1.6. So what's that? Oh, God. 1.25 times 1.6. So I think it's 2. Yeah, 125% of 1.6. So I think it's 2 times bigger, or 2 millimeters, sorry, which is an answer, right? That's D. Okay. Again, spent too long. D. Okay. Number 4. Mert is working with radical numbers. Root 10 plus root 6. He accidentally divides instead of multiplying. Okay. Right, and so, well, how many numbers does he find? More numbers does he find than the number he needs? What on earth? Well, I'm going to multiply them and divide them and see what I get. So the multiplication is actually quite easy because it's root 10 plus root 6 times root 10 minus root 6. So they are like opposite signs. It's kind of like a complex conjugate if this was complex numbers. So you just get the 2 numbers squared. So you'll get 10 minus 6 is 4. So the multiplication is 4, but he has divided them. So he's done, root 10 plus root 6 divided by root 10 minus root 6. But then that's just the top thing squared over 4. Yikes, but what's that? So that is 10 plus 6, but then you've got the bit in the middle, which is plus 2 root 60, and then that whole thing is over 4. Okay, so that now gives me a 4 plus, can I pull a 2 out of there? I can pull out a 4, 15. 4 plus 4 root 15. 4 plus root 15. Yeah, okay, I get it now. 4 plus root 15. So he's got root 15 more than what he needs. Right. So that's root 15 too much. Is that an answer? It's an answer. So I think the answer is B. He has root 15 too much. Yes. Okay, 5. Already feeling the time pressure. This is wild. Less than like a minute per question. Especially trying to explain to all of you. Okay, what are we doing? Project was organised in 11 cities to increase the number of schools. Each of the 11 cities, 12 districts were included. 13. Oh, right. This is just a multiplication problem then, isn't it? So we've got 11 cities. We've got times 12 districts. In each district, there were 13 two-storey schools. So 13 schools times 2 for the stories and 7 on each floor. So I just have to work this out, all right? Weird, but sure. It's 11 times 12 times 13 times 14. Okay, so, I don't want to do this without a calculator. 11 times 12 is 132 times 13 times 14. Oh, man. Okay, so what's 13 times 14? That is 182. So it's 132 times 182. And now I'm going to have to work that one out. Oh, yikes. Really should have got myself a calculator. I assume you're allowed one. Please someone tell me if I should be using a calculator. 132 times 182, what's that? Oh, God. Okay, well, let's do 182 times 100 is 18200. And then 182 times 30, and then 182 times 2. Okay, so times 2 gives me 364, and times 30. So if I did times 3, I'd get 546 and add a 0. Okay, so I'm doing 18,200 plus 5,460 plus 364. Right, so it's 4, it's 2, carry the 1. It's 2 plus 4 gives me 6, gives me 9, gives me a 0, carries the 1. 8 plus 5 is 13, 14, carry the 1. So it's 24,024. Please be an answer. Oh! Of course the answers are in factorials. Didn't look at the answers. That is rookie error. A multiple choice right there. Ladies and gents, rookie error. The answers are in factorials. So the answer is going to be 14 factorial over 10 factorial, which, if I'd actually bothered to look at the answers, is clearly C. And I worked it out because I'm an idiot and wasted many, many minutes of my precious 40 minutes. All right, really need to speed up. 6. Hello, maths fans. present Tom here, casting a rather judging eye over past Tom and his, let's say, attempts to solve the Turkish YKS exam, and in particular his pretty poor multiple choice question technique, perfectly demonstrated in that last question. From my rather lofty and comfortable vantage point, it appears to me that past Tom is a little flustered with this exam so far. He certainly doesn't have the clarity of thought required to solve these rather tricky maths questions. To be honest, it looks like he could really do with a pick-me-up. Fortunately, I have everything I need right here in front of me to make a tasty meal in the form of Huel Black Edition. To start, just add 500 milliliters of water to the Huel shaker. And there's a very helpful fill line on the side, so we know when that's done. Next, just 2 scoops of Huel Black Edition with our handy Huel scoop to help measure it out perfectly. There's 1, and there's number 2. Pop the grill in, screw the lid on, and shake until it's well mixed. With 40 grams of protein and 26 vitamins and minerals per serving, Huel Black Edition has everything you, and past Tom, need to ace those exams and any other challenge that life throws at you. And at only £1.79 per serving, it's affordable as well as convenient. Order Huel Black Edition today by simply scanning the QR code on screen, or you can head directly to the link at the top of the video description box below. The code MATHS, that's MATHS, will get you £10 off your first order in the UK and 15% off if you're based in the US. Unfortunately, past Tom will need to struggle on without the help of Huel, but I personally am looking forward to watching the action unfold whilst enjoying my lunch. Let's get back to it. Okay, number 6. The wise person will choose 2 portions of soup, salad, and fruit. I love this. The wise person will choose 2 portions of soup, salad, and fruit, depending on the amount of calories that he needs to consume. Wise determines the amount of calories he needs to consume in relation to the choices that can be made. When you choose soup and fruit, you go beyond. So that means too many. When you choose fruit and salad, you do not overdo it. And when you choose salad and soup, you get exactly what you've calculated. Since the calories of 1 portion of soup are CM and S, which of the following is the correct order? Oh, wow. Okay, soup and fruit. So that's different letters, of course, different language. So that's C and M. So I think we can say, what can we say? We can say soup and fruit is big. Is positive? Does that mean it's positive? Yeah, okay, is greater than the, let's just write calories, greater than going beyond. Fruit and salad, you do not overdo it. So fruit and salad is then M and S. So M plus S is smaller than the amount the wise person wants. And when you choose salad and soup, you get exactly the correct amount. So salad and soup is which one? Oh, C and S. Okay, it's equal to calories. Right, so that means that M is bigger than S, and M plus S, and M is, C is bigger than M. Yeah, so C is bigger than M. So I think C is bigger than M is bigger than S. Is that an answer? C is bigger than M, or is bigger than S? So I think it's D. There's some equals floating around, but I think it's that. I think it's going to be D. Okay. 7. The total number of steps between A and B is odd. Right, so A minus B is odd number. Yeah, between B and C is even. Okay, B and C is even. Is that it? Oh, accordingly, which of the following could be the numbers of the floors where Arif, Burke, and Chan live? Okay, so A minus B must be odd. So that's A is okay, D, A, D, and E. Okay, so this gives you A, D, or E as possible choices, and then B and C must be even. So A, nope, D, nope, and E, yes. So it's E. Okay, just simply trying all the solutions there. All right, 8. Instructor skydiving course. Wow, love this because you can definitely go skydiving in Turkey, much more than you would in the UK. So this is a very relevant question, it feels. The instructor at a skydiving course made the following statement to their trainees. So in jumping 800 meters, you need to open your chute 400 to 500 after jumping from the plane. Accordingly, which of the inequality expresses the values the height above the ground can take when the parachute is opened? Right, so you need to open parachute 400 after jumping from the plane. Okay, so that means you can be between 400 and 300 meters. Right, so which of those is correct? Ooh, this is weird. X minus 350 is less than or equal to, so the distance you are from, what is X though? We don't know what X is. The height above the ground can take, okay, in order to land safely. So you can be as low as 300 and you're okay. So that means, well, which one does that mean then? That means X. So if X is your height, minus 350 should be less than or equal to, let me just write one of these. I'm a bit confused by this. Let's just write one of these out. So if I say X minus 350 is less than or equal to 50, then that means that X is less than or equal to 400, and it's also greater than or equal to 300 if you flip the signs. So that tells me X is between 300 and 400, yes, which is, I think, why you want to open. Oh, so I think it's A. I think by just writing out A, I think I've got it to work, because that would be correct. You open it between that height above the ground, 400 to 500 from the plane. Perfect. Also, 800 meters seems very low to be jumping out of a plane. I've never been skydiving. Don't know if that's true, but it feels like. Okay, cool. Let's move on. 9. Ooh, a graph. Okay, I like this. Okay, where A, B, C, and D are real numbers, the solution set of the inequality system is colored green and shown in the coordinate plane below. Okay, which are the following of the signs of the numbers? A, B, C, and D. Okay, so what have we got? We've got X plus AY is less than or equal to B. So that is, what's that? That's Y equal, I'm going to just draw them equals to get the lines. So that's Y equals minus X over A plus B over A. Okay, and then the second one is X plus CY equals D. Right, so that's similarly Y is minus X over C plus D over C. Right, and so based on that picture, one of them is where X is bigger. So I think the second one. Yeah, so I think the second one, the second one has a negative gradient. Okay, so I think C is negative based on the picture. I think the other way we've got a positive gradient, so that means that A is positive. Okay, fabulous. So that means it's A, B, or C. But C has to be negative, so it has to be A. Okay, so just based on those two, I think it's A, because A and C have to have opposite signs. Okay, but it could be D. Okay, it might be D. So it's A or D, right, based on A and C having opposite signs, because they're the gradients of the line. But then the intersect, so one of them is positive and one of them is negative. Right, so that means what? Oh, B, okay, so when you have the positive gradient, you have a positive intercept. So if A is positive, B must be positive. So those first two are the same, and then the second two, are opposites. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm not sure now. Okay, I'm gonna have to draw this properly. Trying to do it quick, failing. Right, let's think about this again. So, I have this line, and it's X plus AY is less than or equal to B. So we are always smaller. So that's saying if X becomes super negative, then it's fine. So that's to the left of this. So I want to say, I think this is the negative gradient. I think this is the negative gradient, which would mean that A is positive. Okay, so I think it's A. I'm going to go with A. All right, we're going to go with A. Let's see. All right, question 10. Coffee shop. The prices of 400 milliliter beverages are, created by using coffee, hot water, and milk. Prices of each 100 milliliter component. The prices and ingredients for 3 of the drinks are shown below. Okay, so 9, 15, and 12 Turkish lira. The amount of ingredients in the drink is ordered as per. How much TL did this customer pay? Okay, so I'm assuming that sut, S-U-T, is milk. Don't know, but I'm going to go with that as milk. So I think what we've got here is 3 waters, 1 coffee. Okay, so 3W plus a C is 9. And then in the middle, I know that 1 water, so W plus 3 coffee is 15. Right, great. And then finally, we know that 3 milk plus a coffee is 12. So 3 milk plus a C is 12. Okay, awesome. So if I do, the top one times 3 gives me 9W plus 3C is 27. Subtract that one, so I get 8W is 27 minus 15 is 12, so W is 1.5. Cool, I did need to know that, and then I need to know how much is a milk. So if W is 1.5, then 3 coffees, 3C is 13.5, so C is 4.5. Yeah, that works with the top one. And then how much is the milk? So 3 milks, therefore, so 3 milks is 12 minus 4.5 is 7.5, so a milk is 2.5. So putting it all together, what are we buying? We're buying 1 water plus 1 milk plus 2 coffee. So W plus M plus 2C is 1.5 plus 2.5 plus 9. So that is going to be 13. Okay, so 13 Turkish lira, which is answer E. Fabulous. And that is question 10. All right, moving swiftly on. Next page, number 11. Still feels like a very long way to go. Okay, using the elements of sets A and B, which consist of letters and the number of elements is 9. Oh, soldier, artist, academician. 2 of the words with the elements of the set, the other can be written with the elements of the set. What? Oh, okay, so it's saying A intersect B and A union B. Accordingly, which of the following cannot be written with the letters in set A? Okay. So this is great because this is a word puzzle in Turkish that I've translated to English. So obviously none of it works. But I guess I hopefully understand the concept of the question. So let's see if I can guess. Try and make a sensible guess here because it's pretty much going to be a guess. So I think you've got 2 sets of letters and it's saying 2 of the words can be made with A intersect B. Okay, so I think A intersect B therefore must be the shorter 2, right? So I think A intersect B contains an A, an S, a K, an E, and an R. But then also the second one has the R, the E, the S, the A. There's also an M and another S. Okay, so I think that's A intersect B. A union B can then make the other can be written with the elements of the set. Okay, so 2 of them. So the other one is A union B. So A union B is then the big one, right? So that's like A, K, A, D, E, M, I, S, Y, E, N. Okay, gotcha. So that's the union of the 2, and that's their intersection. And does that make sense? A, S, K, E. There's no R in that one though. Huh. Sure, but it can be written. Okay, so it's not all of this, isn't the whole set, but they're in the set. Fine, I think. According to which of the following cannot be written with the letters in set A? Okay. So S-A-I-R feels like that can be done. M-E-M-U-R, M-E. Maybe there's no mention of U. So we've got like a U is mentioned. We've got a H is mentioned, which I'm not sure about. We've got a N. which is mentioned, Sanachi, but no C, which is kind of mentioned, and then Secreta, and then there's a T. Okay, so I have no idea, literally no clue. I think something's got lost in translation. I honestly have no clue. What feels like you wouldn't be able to do it. So we need a letter that's in both of them. Is that one? So S-A... I feel like S-A-I-R can be done. Yes, S-A-I-R can definitely be done. So it's not A. Hekim. E-K-M. So you've got an I as in one or the other, but not both. And I don't know about H. Memur, M-E-M-U-R. M-E... M and R. Another M and a U. Maybe, maybe not sure. Sanachi... Sorry for the almost certain mispronunciation. Sanachi. So we're kind of missing the T and the C. So we're missing both of them, aren't we? Yeah. All right. I think it's D, just because it feels like it's probably D. I'm out. Don't know. Definitely lost in translation. 12. Okay, graphs. It's more like it. No more word puzzles. Thank you very much. Right, the perpendicular coordinate plane, actually that means the Cartesian plane, graphs of the functions are given. So what is B? Oh gosh. Okay, what on earth's happening here? Right, so we've got F plus G. Okay, I'm going to have to think about this. So we've got F plus G is like a positive straight line up here. Okay, this is F plus G. Cool. And then we've got F minus G, which is coming in, not through there, but like there. Okay, cool. Great. We know that F, is that composed G of A, is 8. I don't know if that's F times G. I think it means F composed with G. F dot G of A. What on earth does that mean? God. So I think that means... What does that mean? Hang on. So we know that F minus G, right? We know some stuff here, don't we, is A. And that's 2 across there. Okay, so we know that F minus G at A equals 2. So that says that F of A minus G of A, okay, is 2. Fabulous. And then we know that F of A plus G of A is B. Okay. So if we add those two together, we can say what? We can say 2 F of A is 2 plus B. So F of A is 1 plus B over 2. Okay. And then we know that F, I think that's composed. I would interpret that as composed with F composed with G of A is 8. So that's F of G of A. And that's 8. But I don't know what G of A is, but I can work it out. So G of A, 2 lots of G of A, is the bottom one minus the top one. So that's B minus 2. So G of A is B over 2 minus 1. F of B over 2 minus 1 is 8. Oh gosh. F of B over 2 minus 1 is 8. That doesn't help me. How on earth does that help me? F composed with G of A. This is wild. There's got to be another way to work this out. Okay. How can I work this out? So we know the F minus G of A is 2. So we know F of A, we know G of A. Okay, so F of A is that. G of A. Oh, maybe it means that, maybe it does mean their product. That would make more sense. Because if I could say G of A was B over 2 minus 1, then F of A times G of A, it's going to be that, isn't it? Okay, I thought it meant composition. I think it means multiplication. Let's see if I get a sensible answer. So f of a times g of a, which we want to be 8, is then 1 plus b over 2, or b over 2 plus 1 times b over 2 minus 1. So that's a difference of 2 squares, so that's b squared over 4 minus 1. So b squared is 9. B squared over 4 is 9. So b over 2, b is positive, is 3. So b is 6. Is that an answer? Oh, it's an answer. All right, go with it. D. Okay, pictures. Right, this looks fun. Every painting on the wall is hung upside down. That it is. What am I doing with these pictures then? There's at least one person in each table. Somebody said upside down Q. There's at least one person in each table. What on earth is going on here? Oh, a painter writes in the lower right corner of each painting they paint. They write the year they completed the painting. The painter exhibits the 3 paintings made in 2021. Okay, makes a decision to hang them like so. Every painting is hung upside down. Yeah, there is at least one person in each table. R, the shape of each table is rectangular. Since it is known that the proposition is true. Oh, what on earth? Oh, okay, it's a logic. Honestly, this translation is so confusing sometimes. Right, so we've got this kind of logical statement, and now I have to remember what these things mean. Okay, so I think it's saying that P or Q are false intersected with R. Okay, so P or Q false and R is a true proposition. Oh gosh. Okay. Which of the following could be the appearance of these 3 paintings hanging on the wall? Wow. Okay. So one of P or Q must be false. Okay, so one of P or Q is false and R is true. Is again a while since I've done logic. I think that's what a statement means. So R means the shape of each table is rectangular. Okay, so that immediately tells me it has to be A, D, or E. Okay, so that tells me it's A, D, or E because they have to be rectangular. It says table. It's translated painting as table, just to add to the confusion. Okay, so it's going to be A, D, or E. And then we've also got the other 2 bits. Okay, so P is upside down and Q is there is at least one person. Okay, so there is at least one person would be false for D and A. And there is at least one upside down. But it says one of them is false. P or Q is false. So P or Q being false means not a person. If there's a painting without a person and one of them is not upside down. Okay, so that would be A. So A fails. Okay, so I think A fails because there is a painting without a person and there is one of them that's not upside down. So it falsifies both of those statements. So I think it means P or Q is false. A actually would mean both of them being false. Now D or E. So everyone is upside down. So in E, there is something that is upside down. So P is false in E. So E has P false. And then is Q true? What's Q? There is at least one person. Q is true. Okay, cool. And then in D, every painting is upside down is true. Oh God, so for D, P is true and Q is false. What? P is true and Q is false because there is at least one person. No, there is at least one person. Wait, every painting is upside down, yes. There is not at least a person, no, so Q is false. Ah, so that would seem to suggest that both of D and E would work. Huh. and R must be true, which says they are all rectangular. Oh man, there is at least one person. Okay, so I think A, or do we need both of them to be false? P or Q, but is or inclusive? I guess it's inclusive. Oh, P or Q are false, and R is true. Man, this is tricky. I can't work out whether it's D or E. I'm struggling. Might have to just guess. I'm very out of practice with my logic. I really don't know. It could be D or it could be E. I have no clue. What did I say last time? Last time was D. Let's go with E. Right, I'm not sure about that one. May have misinterpreted the question, but hey-oh, let's see what happens. All right, 14. When the numbers in a data group are ordered from smallest to largest, the number of terms in the group is odd. The number in the middle number, and even if the arithmetic mean of the middle two numbers is called the... I mean, that makes no sense, but I think it's defining the median? Yeah, the mean of the middle two. So if you have an odd number, you take the mean of those middle two. No, you take the mean of the middle... Yes, if you have an odd number, it's the middle number. If you have an even, you take the mean of the middle two. Yes. Okay, right, it's defining the median. Ages and heights of a 9-person volleyball team, blah, 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 are entered according to their height, with the first component showing their age and the second component showing their height. Right, so we've got 9 data points in order of height. One player leaves, but the median of both of them do not change. Right, so what's the median height? Because they're in order. Okay, so we've got... So at the moment, the median is 1.84. Okay, so the median is 1.84. Right, and then the point is we need somebody of height 1.84 to leave. No, wait, think about this. So when somebody leaves, the new median has to be 1.84. So currently the 4th and the 5th entries, okay, so the 4th and the 5th. So it's 1.84 in position 4 and 1.84 in position 5. Okay, and we have 9, so this one is the median. So we need the answer to also be 1.84 from the two that are left. So we can't lose a 1.84, right? And we have to lose one, because if we went down to 8 players, it would be 4th and 5th. So we have to lose one from up here. Okay, so we have to lose a tall one. Gotcha. Now, ages. What have we got on ages? We've got a 17, 2 17s, 2 18s, 2 19s, naturally, 2 20s, and a 20 and a 21. Okay, so here the median is again the 5th value, and then we need it to shift down and the new median to also be 19. So we need to lose one of these 3. Okay, so is there anyone? We need a height greater than 1.84 and an age less than 19. Okay, so greater than 1.84. It's the 17 1.9. Okay, so 17 1.9 is our person to leave. That better be an answer. It is. That's B. Okay, fab. Neat question. No way I'm doing it in a minute. That's hard, but I like the question. Okay, 15. Natural numbers AAB and ABA are divisible by 9. Okay, so I'm going to assume these are like this, and they're both divisible by 9. Right, so that means the sum of their digits has to give you something that's a multiple of 9, right? Is how this works. Yes, so we don't know if they're different. They have to, okay, cool. As a 3-digit number, one of them is divisible by 5, right? So A is 0 or 5, and then B is 0 or 5 is one choice. And if you did something different, the other one would have to be divisible by 12. So then the other must be even. Okay, right, because one ends in A and one ends in B. but the 0 would maybe make it work. Ooh. Okay. Anyway, and we want a plus b. So let's think about what choices we could have here. All right, so if let's just take the simple one. If a is 0, then that's super boring. Then b has to be 9. Wait, hang on. If a is 0, b is quite literally 9. And then the other number is 90, which is not divisible by 12. That's not divisible by 12. That would be 5. Yeah, so that fails, right? Can't have that. Great. So if a is 5, let's try that. So if a is 5, we've then got 5b, and then we've got 5b, 5. So b now needs to be divisible by 12. God, 550 something. I don't think it's going to be divisible by 12, is it? Oh no, it might be. B is 2. Yeah, if b is 2, to make that divisible by 12, then that works. Ah, haha, because 552 is 480 plus 72, which is 12. Yeah, so it goes into it 46 times. 46 times 12. Okay, so I think that works, right? 525 is clearly divisible by 5. But are they both divisible by 9? That's a good point. 552 is not divisible by 9, so that doesn't work. Okay, so that doesn't work. And then the other one is also not divisible by that either. 525 is not divisible by 9, is it? No. Okay, so that doesn't work. Okay, talking nonsense. Right, so b has to be 0 or 5, sure. So if b is 0, then what does that mean? That means we've got a 0, and that has to be divisible by 9. So what does that mean? A has to be 9 then. That would say that a is 9. And then that would be divisible by 9. 990 into 12s. Oh God. 960. So that doesn't work. So it's not 12s, but that's fine. The second one then, a, b, a. So I've taken b to be 0. So that's 909. That's definitely not divisible by 12, is it? No. And it's not divisible by 5. So that doesn't work. Right, so I think b has to be 5. Right. Okay, so the only option left from my initial analysis is that b has to be 5. So what does that mean? That means we've got a 5, which needs to be divisible by 9. Okay, that's proving to be tricky. I'm not sure that's going to work. Oh man, none of these are going to work. And then ABA, and then what's that then? So that's A5A, and this needs to be divisible by 12, but also 9. Oh, unless, okay, so this means A must be 2 then, mustn't it? So I was thinking it wouldn't work because A would have to be like quite a big number to get 18 as the total, because the sum of the digits has to be divisible by 9. But if I take A to be 2, 225 divisible by 9, and then the other one is 252 divisible by 12. Yes. Okay, awesome, so that's going to work. Right, so B is 5, A is 2, so the total is 7, which is answer A. Woo, again, took a while. Okay, well, let's keep moving. Let's go to 16. Okay, what have we got here? A, B, and C are real numbers. There's lots going on. Honestly, what is going on? Right, and we're going to factor a polynomial in such a way that numbers are sort, numbers that meet these conditions. Oh, dearie me. This is a confusing translation. It can be factored as follows. Okay, sure, so just trying to work out using the method described above, somebody wants to factor a polynomial, right, okay. So we're trying to factorize 2x. So I think it's telling me how to it's basically telling you all the maths you need to know in these questions. That's interesting. 2x squared plus bx minus 21. Right. So I think we're trying to factorize this, he says. What on earth? And then we want to these numbers were integers, and he created the polynomial by mixing the places where he would write the numbers n and s. Okay, and so now I'm trying to work out something, which I have no idea what I'm trying to work out. So we're trying to say that this is equal to mx plus s, okay, times rx plus n. And we know that they're all integers, I think, is what's happening. Okay, so what is b? He accidentally factored and found the factors. So what is b? Oh, man. So he did something else to get 2x squared plus x minus 21? Okay, so what would this have to be then? It would have to be, if I'm factorizing that polynomial, I've got a 2x and I've got an x. And then 21 comes from a 3 and a 7. So I need a, what do I need? I need a, one of them's a minus and one of them's a plus. So I could have minus 3 and plus 7, right, would work. That would now give me the minus 21, and that would give me minus 3x plus 14x. So that would give me that b was 11, right, is one option. Is that an option? Oh, it is an option. Maybe it's that. Or I could have 2x plus 3, and then I could have x minus 7, and then that still works and gives me the minus 21. But now I've got plus 3x minus 14x, so that's minus, so that's b is minus 11, okay, which is not an option there. What else could I have done? I could have done 2x plus 7 times x minus 3 would also work. So that would now give me minus 6x plus 7x. So that gives me plus b is 1 from that, which is not an option. And then finally, I can have 2x minus 7 multiplied by x plus 3. So that gives me now plus 6x minus 7x. So that gives me minus 1. Okay, so the only one that's there is 11. So I think, I have no idea what the question's asking, but I think the answer's A. Ta-da! Maths is a universal language, is being very much proven by, well, assuming I've got it right, who knows, right? We'll check that at the end. Because there is a mark scheme, so I will be checking how I've got on. Right, 17. 10 to the n minus 22 divided by 3. Okay, the sum of the digits, n is a natural number, the sum of the digits of the natural number is 44. Oh no, what is n? Ouch. Okay, so what am I saying? I'm saying 10 to the n minus 22 divided by 3. And then it gives me some number, sure. And I want to know, and we know the sum of the digits of that natural number is 44. Okay, right, so 10 to the n will give you ones and lots of zeros, right? So 10 to the n just gives 1 and then some number of zeros. Okay, so when we take away 22, we're going to get 1, a load of zeros, and then we've taken away 22, so that leaves me with 78. And then we have to divide by 3, so that's just going to give now, it's not 10, is it? It's 9, I should have said at the beginning. My bad, so it's all 9s. Right, I see. So it's 9, 9, 9, 9, dot, 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 9, 78. And that, okay, and then divide by 3. Okay, so it's going to be 3s, some number of 3s. Okay, I like this. Some number of 3s, 78 divided by 3 is 26. So it's going to end in a 2 and a 6. And then the sum of these is 44. So I've got a load of 3s. So the 3s sum to 36. So how many 3s? So there's 12 3s. Okay, so there's 12 3s. So this whole thing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 26 is the answer. That's 1, 2, so that's 12, 13. That's 14 positions, so it's 15. So 10 to the 2 gives me, wait, so there's 14 positions, so that means there's going to be 14 zeros. Yes, so I think n is 14, which is B. Okay, I think it's 14, B. All right, Amit separated the acquisition comprehension test files prepared for the maths course according to their subjects, filed them as follows. All right, sure. Some Turkish words I don't understand. Great. According to this process, there are 5 folders in the main folder, n subfolders in each, p test, and 12 questions. Oh man. Since he solved all the tests in one of the subfolders, he deleted his subfolder along with its contents. How many total questions are there in the main folder called math? What? Oh man. Okay. Start again. 5 folders. Okay, so 5 folders within maths. Yes. N subfolders within each of those. Okay, so there are n subfolders. Okay, sure. P test files within each. So P test files. And then 12 questions within each of those. Okay. So he solved all the tests in one of these subfolders. So he's coming in here. Great. Within the folder named probability. Okay. He deleted the subfolder. In the last case, how many total questions are there in the main folder called math? Okay, well, let's start with how many questions there are in total, I think. So to start with, okay, so at the start, there are 5 times n times p times 12 total questions. Now, what has he deleted? He's deleted, I need to reread this question, it's very confusing. He solved all the tests in one of the subfolders within the folder named probability. So he deleted this subfolder. So he's lost, so he's subtracted off 12p, hasn't he? Because within each subfolder, there are 12p things, yes. So he's thrown away 12p. So we've like minus 12p. Because there are p test files, 12 questions on each, and he's thrown all of those away from one of those subfolders. Okay, so does one of them look like that? What have we got? We've got... is it that one? Okay. So I think D maybe, right? I'm just going to check, because D is 12p times 5n minus 1. So let's just think about this for a moment. So what we've done there is, so that's the total amount, 60p n minus 12p. And I reckon we've thrown away 12p. Yeah. All right, cool. So I think it's D. Great. 19. Okay, that was a bit nicer. Let's have a look. Question 19. While reading information about a vase he saw in a museum he visited in 2020, Farouk learned the year the vase was found was the same year he was born. Oh God, okay. And when it was found, the vase was 300 years old. So we need to know some stuff, right? The year, okay. The year the vase was found was the same as he was born. Okay, so it's 300 years old. So it's the vase plus 300 is equal to his birthday. Yes, is equal to his age. Okay, so V is the age of the vase, X is his age. 39 times his age, so that's 39x, was equal to the year the vase was made, is equal to V. Great, so sub it in, I think. Okay, so X is V over 30, that's not a helpful one. What can I do? V is 39x, so I've got 39x plus 300 equals X. Okay, great. So then taking it across, we can say 38x is minus 300. Okay, but then that doesn't divide nicely. Yikes. Okay, so that's not what we want. Okay, what have I done wrong? Because that just doesn't make sense now. The year the vase was found was the same as the year he was born. And when it was found, it was 300 years old. Okay, so he is X years old. So V plus 300 plus X. Wait. So the age of the vase was 300 years old. So this is the age of the vase Okay, this is wrong. Let's start again. So the vase is 300 years old. Yes, plus, that's what I've done wrong. Right. The vase is 300 years old plus the age of Farouk. Yeah, okay. That makes more sense. Now, so that does make more sense, but I'm still not sure this is going to divide at all nicely, so that's weird. And then he says, during his visit, 39 times his age was equal to the year. Right, so ignore that, that's all nonsense. So 39 times his age. So the vase is 300 plus his age, and 39 times his age, 39 times x is equal to the year the vase was made. Right, so is equal to 2020 minus x minus 300. Right, makes more sense now, I think. So we're kind of combining ages and years just to mess things up. So what does that tell me? That tells me then that 39x is equal to the year the vase was made, which is this. So that's 1720. So minus x. So gotcha. 40x is 1720. Okay, so I've used the first equation in the second one when I wrote it down. So x is that divided by 40. 172 over 4, which is 43, I think. Yes, and that's an answer, isn't it? Amazing. Okay, 43. It's there, so it must be the answer. Great. Sort of saved there by the fact that my first answer was negative, which was nonsense. All right, frazzled my brain this. 20. The number obtained by the sum of the digits of a two-digit natural number written using 1, 4, or 7 also consists of the digits 1, 4, or 7. This number is called a direct number. So how many direct numbers are there? Gosh, okay. The sum of the digits of a two-digit natural number using 1, 4. Okay, so we've got 1, 1, 1, 4, 1, 7. You can also go 4, 1, 4, 4, 4, 7. And then you can go 7, 1, 7, 4, 7, 7. Okay, so there are 9 choices. But then obtained by adding the sum. So what's their sum? So we've got 2, 5, 8, 5, 8, 11, 8, 11, 14. And if it's only coefficient using the number, it's 1, 4, or 7. Okay, so which ones of these are 1, 4, or 7? 1, 4, or 7. Okay, so 3. So I think there's 3 of them. Right, I've just calculated it. So I think the answer is C. I think there are 3 of them. Cool. Okay, that's more like it. Long may the speed continue. 21. Just about. Somehow only halfway through. Whew. Right. A vehicle always moving at a constant speed in the same direction on a circular track starting from point A after 3 minutes from point... Oh God, what's it saying? Starting from point A. After 3 minutes, it passes point B from the third time. Okay, wow. So point B, so 3 minutes. So 3 minutes, it's passing B for the third time, right? And then after 8 minutes, passes B for the 7th time. Okay, so third, once would be the 4th, twice, 3. So 4 full circles. So 4 full circles takes 5 minutes. Okay, that's what we can work out from that. Okay, at least that's what I'm working out from that. So what's the actual question? How many seconds after this vehicle started moving from point A did it pass point B for the first time? Right. Interesting. So, what do we know? 4 full circles takes 5 minutes. So 1 full circle, and then I'll subtract from the 3 minutes, yeah. So 1 full circle takes 1.25 minutes, right, which is 75 seconds. Yes. Yep, that works. And so we've done 2 full circles from the point B, which would then give you 2.5 minutes. So I think it's 30 seconds. So I think it's A. I think it's 30 seconds because you double 75, gives you 150. After 3 minutes, you pass it for the third time. Yeah. Okay, so it's 30 seconds. A. Great. I keep saying great. I have no clue, right? We'll see in the marking, won't we? Question 22. Pizzas. This looks fun. A customer who wants to order the pizzas chosen from a pizza shop's website encounters the following message. This customer has a message paid. Oh, okay, and it's not translated the message, but it says something about 9 Turkish lira. Gosh, the customer who ordered the same pizzas via the mobile application paid 15% less than the total he had to pay when he ordered from the website. Accordingly, what is the total amount paid by the customer for the pizzas? What on earth is going on? I don't understand. Okay, so it hasn't translated the text in the image, right? So here we go again, trying to guess. But paid 15% less than the amount this person has paid. And I think it says something about you must pay 9 to order. I think it's saying you have to pay, my guess here is you had to pay 9 to order on the phone, and then paid 15% less than the amount he paid when he ordered from the website. Okay, so the website maybe added 9. I really don't know. So what is this saying? This is saying trying to figure out the question is a nightmare, right? Knew I shouldn't have relied on ChatGPT. Right? It can't even do translations now. I know it can't do maths. Now it can't do translations. So I really have no clue here. The customer paid 15% less on the mobile app than the website. Okay, so let's write that down. So 15% less on mobile than web. Okay. But I have no idea what the total is on the web, other than there was a 9 something charge. Okay. So what am I trying to do? We're trying to say, I don't even know what we're trying to do. That you save 9 by doing it there, maybe? Maybe it's saying you save 9. 9 is 15%. Okay, well, let's try. So if 9, all I can say is if 9 is 15%, 0.15 or 15%, then that means that, what does that mean? That means 6 is 10%, so that means 60 is the total. Right, and if you've paid, okay, maybe that is it, because this might give me an answer now, right, 51. So if 60 is the total, and we're saving 9, then I think you've paid 51. All right, I think it's 51 and it's E. I have no idea. I've made up a question that this is an answer to, but the numbers work, so fingers crossed. That is actually what the question was. But who knows, right? I've been let down by my translation, or by my own inability to not know the language of the exam. You know, let's not just blame ChatGPT for my failings. Question 23. Okay. Right. Flats are from 1 to 72. The others are from 1 to 72. Okay. I know who lives in a site consisting of 2 apartment buildings numbered. Oh no, one's from 1 to 72 and 1 to 88. And consecutively sends a message who invites to his home with the address of the site and the name of the apartment. The following conversation takes place on the phone between them. Again, conversation in Turkish. No idea what that says. Great. Accordingly, what is the sum of the digits? Oh man. Okay, I don't think I really cannot do this because I can't translate the question. Actually, I probably should guess, shouldn't I? Right. So let's use test technique, right? I shouldn't be saying I don't know because it's in Turkish. I should be looking at the question and being like, do I think it's A? I mean, I have no idea. Let's go B, right? We just had an E and an A, so let's pick something different. Let's try B. But complete guess. Okay, 24. Right, what are we doing? Sedo agreed with an organisation company for the cold and hot drinks to be served at the party. Okay, a portion between 52 and 60. Cold. Ooh, weird. Okay, so 52 to 60% cold. Okay, 67 to 72% hot. Okay, this is weird, but sure. Because that's more than 100%, but sure. According to estimation, between which 2 percentage values is the ratio of the number of guests who will buy both a cold drink and a hot drink to the total number of guests. I see. So I think it's 52 to 60 will buy a cold. 67 to 72 will buy a hot. 4% non. Okay. Great. So which two percentage values is the ratio of the number of guests who will buy both to the total number of guests? Oh, God. Okay, so 52 to 60 buy a cold. Okay, so 52 to 60 cold. And then 67 to 72 buy a hot. And we're interested in who will buy both out of the total. So we want both. Okay. So that should be, oh God, out of the total number of guests. Sure. So is that as simple as between 52 and 60 is the cold multiplied by 67 to 72? It feels like that's not going to be right because that's like 0.52. So it's 0.52 to 0.6 multiplied by 0.67 to 0.72. So the smallest would be the 0.52 times the 0.67, which is like 0.3 something. So that's too small. Because who's going to buy both? God, this is ridiculous. Okay, so let's say it's a probability. The probability of buying a cold is 0.52. Probability of buying a hot is 0.67. And so the probability of buying both is between the two numbers? Oh, man. I am confused by this question. 52 to 60 will buy a cold. And 67 to 72 will buy a hot. And 4% will not buy any. Okay. So someone's going to buy both. Oh, I see. So it's a Venn, I think it's a Venn diagram, isn't it? So are we saying, let's try that. So are we saying people are going to buy nothing is 0.04? I think this is right. And then this is, let's just say it was 0.52, but that's the whole thing. And then this is 0.67, but that's the whole thing. So then there's an overlap, right? So 0.52 plus 0.67 equals, so the lower ends, 1.19. Yeah, so that's too much. But we've only got 0.04, so minus the 0.96, so that's 0.25. Okay, so it's 25 to something percent, because the upper one then, right, so I think it's 25%, but then it's as high as, it could be 60 and 0.2, 60 and 0.72, which then gives you 1.32, so that'll be, so I think it's between 25 and 36%. Okay, is that an answer? Please be an answer. It's not an answer. Okay, great. So it's not an answer. That's annoying. So maybe it's between 19 then. Is it between 19 and 32? Is that what it wants? So it's got 19 and 36? Oh, man. Because the idea is they're the smallest it could be, and so the overlap could be what? So the overlap could be much bigger, because if they were all as high as 0.6 and 0.72, then you've got 1.32, so you need 36 off that. You do need 36 off that. So does that mean it's C, 19 to 36? It might be. Oh, is it between 0 and 4, maybe? Ah, okay. Okay, so it's 19 to 36. Right, sure, C. Has to be. Spent too long on it. Got to be C. Let's move on. Okay, question 25. Temperature. Chem is assigned to measure the temperature of class in Celsius every day for 5 days. Find the average temperature. For this measurement, thermometer was used. Okay. Did not go to school, and his classmate Denise measured it, but he used the value of C. He saved the F value. According to Vase and list, came out the average temperature these days is 33.8. Okay, after converting the temperature value of the day, the values in the list of these 5 dimensions are above. On which day did Chem not go to school? What? Oh man, what on earth is happening? The language issue here is making this so much more difficult. I'm also pretty exhausted. I'm only on 25. Right, let's start again. So he measures the temperature for 5 days. A thermometer was used, which shows the temperature in both of them. Great. He did not go to school for one of these days. However, he used C instead of that, and he saved the F value. Great. And then calculate the average temperature of those. Right, so we've got like the 4 correct ones. Okay, so 4 correct plus the degrees C1. And then we divide by 5, and that's equal to 33.8. So the 4 correct, right, I understand now, plus degrees C is 5 times that, so that's 338, which halved is 169. Okay, so therefore the degrees, so I don't know the degrees C1, no, right. But then eventually, after converting the temperature, the values in the list of those 5-day measurements are as above. So in which one of them was mistakenly done? Okay, so 4 correct plus a Celsius gives 16. No, plus a Fahrenheit? Yeah, so who's messed up here? Okay, converted them all to Celsius. Okay, so he's accidentally used a Fahrenheit value, so this is too big. Gotcha. Because the actual average, gotcha. Actual average is 23 plus 27 plus 25 plus 20 plus 26 over 5, right? So that's 50, 75, 95, 121 over 5. Okay, so the actual average then is 24.2 degrees. Okay. So the actual average is 24.2, and we are going to get, and we know that 169 minus the incorrect one in degrees F is going to equal, 169 minus the one in degrees F is going to equal the 4 correct ones. Okay, but then we know what F is, don't we? 9/5 C plus 32, so 169 minus, this is so not the way to do this, but I think it'll work, minus 32 is the sum of the 4 correct. Okay, great. So that means, what do we say? So 169, 137 equals the 4 correct plus 9/5 of C, and that has to equal 137. Okay, so which of those is now possible? Oh God, I have no clue. So which of those is gonna cause this thing to jump up? So they're all kind of around 20-ish. It has to jump up a lot. So maybe the 4th one feels like it might work. So if I had the others, I would get 50 plus something. To tell me what he recorded, no. This is so not how you do it. 75. So we had 95 plus 9/5 C. But I have no clue what that's going to be though, do I? No. But one of them has to be one of the answers. Okay. So if C, e.g., okay, so I can just try C. Right, so let's just try. I don't really know what else to do. Try C is 20. What does that mean? That's 36, so that means 137 equals the 4 correct. 4 correct plus 36. right? Because 20 divided by 5 is 4, 9 times 4 is 36, yeah. So I'm saying 101 is the 4 correct. Does that work? Are the others 101? They're not. No, because the total is 121. Oh, they are. Oh, huh. Well, that works. So so D. All right. I mean, I took way too long, but I somehow got it. Right. Move on. Don't question it. Do not question your luck, Thomas. That is all good. Let's move on to 26. Wild. Okay, question 26. Fed up of this. 135 students at a school travel with bus companies A or B to go to and return from their homes. 75 of the students are leaving. 90 of them prefer company A on the way back. 86 travelled with different companies on the way back and forth. I'm sorry, what? What is the total of students who went with company B and returned with company A? I don't understand. 135 students at a school travelled with A and B. Sure. 75 of them are leaving. I don't understand what that means. Oh, left with A. Right, is that right? 75 left with A and 90 preferred B. Oh, does that not... Wait, hang on. Okay, so once again, I think the translation is wrong. Looking at the question in Turkish as well to just get a feel for the problem. So I think what it's telling me is that 75 did A, but then 90 came back with B. So 75A there and 90B back, I think, is what the question's actually telling me. It's not what the translation says. But that would make more sense, because then the point is that 60 went B there, and then 45 went A back. Okay. So well, the total who went with B and returned with A. Okay, so went with B is 60. And then returned with A is 45. But do we know that? I'm not sure we know that. Oh, man. I don't think we know that information. Well, I've got something about 86. What does it say? 86 changed. Okay, so 86 changed. Gotcha. Right. Okay, so 86 have changed. Man, right. Okay. And we know what? Who went with B and returned with A. Okay, so A there and in 90. So 30, minimum of 30 have changed. Okay, so A to B is at least 30. But then 86 of them changed, so that wouldn't work. So more of them must have changed. Okay. Oh man, so if 86 have changed, then that means of the other 135, so who stayed the same? Right. So 86 changed, which means 49 were the same. Okay. And we don't know how many that was. Marvelous. So if they all happened in A, would that work? I mean, I'm sure that would work. So if all 75 A's went back on B, that would mean... No, so 45 A's stayed the same. All right, I need some algebra. Didn't want to do this, but I'm not getting anywhere otherwise. Right, so let's suppose A and then A, and we'll call that X. Then we've got B goes to B, we'll call that Y. Then what do we have? We can have go there on A and come back on B, call that A, and then go there on B and come back on A. Yeah, call that B. Okay, now what information do we know from the question? So we know various things. We know that on the way there, 75 take A. So that's X plus A, I think, is 75. Because 75 of them take bus A on the way there. We've been told that. We're also told something about 86 of them change. So A plus B must be 86. Because they are the two groups that change. Okay, awesome. Which means x plus y is the remaining 49 of them to give the total of 135. Fine. But we also know that everyone who travels in equals 135, don't we? And then there was something else about 90. We know what about 90. 90 take b back. Okay. So that's a plus y is 90. Right. And what's the question asking me for? It's asking me for b, isn't it? So we want this. Okay. Right. So simultaneous equations. Can I solve that? Probably. Because what do we know about x and y? They are the people who stayed the same. So we know that x plus y is 49, don't we? Yeah. Because if 86 change, then 49. Yes, because then the total of all four is 135. Brilliant. Okay, so how do I work out b? So let's do y minus b is 4 from that one and that one. And then I know what I want to work out. What's y? Now I know that y is y minus b is 4. Does that help? I don't know if that helps. I have eliminated a. So now we know what? That y is now 49 minus x. So I can say 49 minus x minus b is 4. And then I can say x plus a, but I don't want to reintroduce a. Oh, man. Okay, and where x is minus a plus 75. So I'm saying 49 minus a plus 75 minus b equals 4. This is not helpful because now I just get a's and b's, but I also know that a is 86 minus b. So 49 plus a, so plus 86 minus b, minus 75 minus b is 4. I hope this works. Christ, okay, so 49, so 2b, minus 2b, 4 plus 2b on that side, and that's got to be equal to, so 86 minus 75 is 11, so 60. Okay, so, wow, so 2b is 56, which means b is 28. Please be an answer. Oh, thank God. Right, world's worst solution, but we have a solution. Oh man, okay, question 27. Flexible working system has been introduced in a workplace where there is overtime every day. The owner of this workplace asks some of the employees to come to workplace every 2 and the others every 3. Switching to this system, it was observed the number of employees coming to this workplace in the first 4 days were, right, and we've got 22, 19, 28, 26, and the unknown x. How many came in on that day? Right, so they can be every 2 or every 3. So I think here there will be on day 1, some of them will be on the 2-day system and some on the 3-day system. So I'm going to say A for the 2-day plus B for the 3-day system. So we're going to go A and then we're going to go A. So A of them will be here, jumping through day 1, day 3, day 5. We're interested in day 5. But, and this is going to be the tricky bit, isn't it? Because going back 3 days from this would be this one. So day 19 has C of them on the 2-day system. And so this is then plus D, where D is the 3-day system. Gotcha. And then I now need to work out what? Well, let's write down what equations I have. So I know that it's going to be, yeah, people on the Friday, day 5, can come from the 2-day system or the 3-day system, and I'm tracing those back. So I know that A plus B is 22 from Monday, and then I know that C plus D is 19, and then what I want is A plus D, right? But what else could have happened in the meantime? So we could have gone B to that one, and C. So B plus C is 26, isn't it? So I've got that one as well. So now, hopefully I've got enough to solve it, because I want A plus D, and I don't know A plus D. But if I do A plus B plus C plus D, then that is 22 plus 19, right, which is obviously 41. But I know that B plus C is 26, so therefore A plus D is 41 minus 26, so that has to be 15, and please behave, that's an answer, yeah. And that's an answer. Whew. All right, so that one's going to be B. That was a bit better. Preferred that one. Definitely. Question 28. Right. Fatih, what's Fatih doing? Okay, arrival to work time, leaving home a particular day. Right. And is that a speed? His arrival time to work. Okay, so right. I'm not sure if that makes sense. According to his leaving home time, the graphic representations between 7 and 8 and 8 and 9 are linear. Okay, so I think that's saying, yes, that is, okay. So I think it's saying that's how long it takes to get to work. So, so it takes very long if you leave at 8, but it's quicker if you leave at 7 and quicker if you leave at 9. Okay, I think I've understood it. Now, leaves home between 8 and 9, would have had the same time to arrive at work if he'd left home exactly 1 hour earlier. Okay, yes, and then what's the question? Accordingly, at what time did Fatih arrive at work? All right, so if I just sort of sketch this graph out, I think what's happening here is we've got some linear bit between 7 and 8, and then some linear bit between 8 and 9. And we're saying would have had the same time to arrive at work, left home exactly 1 hour earlier. Right, so we want, okay, so we want an intersection here, one of these horizontal lines, such that this distance is 1 hour. Okay, so, could I sort of work backwards from these? Possibly. But we're going to draw a straight line where they're 1 hour between them. So what can I tell from looking at that picture? Interesting. So at 30, right, so that's the halfway point. So leaving at 7:30, it takes 30 minutes. Okay, so at 7, let's suppose this is the one. So based on the graph, the information I've been given, so this one is 30 mins. And then we know that leaving at 8:30 is going to be halfway, is going to be 33 minutes. Okay, so leaving at 8:30 is 33 minutes, which is a little bit higher. Okay, so 33 mins. So I think we need to go a little bit down. So what if it was 32? For example, I'm just trying numbers here, but what if it was 32 minutes? So if we were at 32, then where would we be? Okay, so we're going 5 minutes, so at 32, we would be at 7:40. Okay, so 7:40 would equate to 32 minutes to get to work, linear relationship. And then the other one, we're going an hour between 36 down to, so to get all the way down to 32, we're going to have left at 8:40. Good guess. I figured it would be a nice round number. So I think it's 8:40 is also 32 minutes. And they're an hour apart. So Fatih must have left at 8:40, takes 32 minutes, 9:12. That's an answer, option A. Woo! Okay. These are going better. Long may this continue, because I'm pretty sure I have no time left at this point. 29. In a mathematics lesson, the teacher asked Veli, calculate how many different ways 3 students could be selected. Okay, so 3 students could be selected, 3 factorial. Yasin, how many? 5, that's 5 factorial. And then Zainab to calculate how many different ways, 11, so that's 11 factorial. All 3 students calculated the question numbers correctly. Since the numbers found by Yasin and Zainab are the same positive integer. Wait, what? I'm sorry, what? What is the number found by... I am so lost. How many different ways 3 students could be selected? Yasin to calculate how many ways 5 could be selected. And Zainab to calculate how many different ways 11. They all did the numbers correctly. Since the numbers found by Yasin and Zainab are the same positive integer. What? They're not the same. Oh, translation issues again, man, every time. Because this just makes no sense. How many different ways 3 students could be selected? By Yasin and Zainab are the same positive integer. Are the same positive integer? I don't understand. It really makes no sense, because how many different ways 3 students could be selected? Is that like out of some amount? Unless it's out of some amount. Maybe? Is that what we're trying to say? Okay, so maybe it's right, so are we saying it's 3 factorial over n minus 3 factorial n factorial. Oh, forgotten how to do coefficients now. Okay, so if I'm choosing, okay, so let's say choose 3 choose n. It's going to be n choose 3, isn't it? Yes. Choose how many ways to choose 3 objects out of n. N choose 3, so it's n factorial over 3 factorial n minus 3 factorial. So that's how many different ways to choose 3 out of n. Okay, I think that's right. Right, so I'm saying that one is then belonging to, I think I have to work out n, don't I? Right, fine. Maybe. Again, I'm just trying to make up a question that makes sense, because the translation doesn't work. Okay, so V is that, then, and I'm claiming that's the same as 11, which was Z. So Z is picking n factorial over 11 factorial, n minus 11 factorial. Okay, so that means that n minus 11 equals 3, right? Or n minus 3 is 11, so n is 14. Okay, clever. That's it. So n is 14, great. So therefore 5 factorial, which is y, right, yeah, Yasin was n factorial, which is 14, over 5 factorial times n minus 5 factorial, yikes. Okay, so 14 factorial, 5 factorial, 9 factorial, so that's 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, over, and then the 9 cancels, and then we've got a 5 factorial, which is 120. Okay, so the answer is 14 times 13 times 11, and is that an answer? Maybe. What do I think that's equal to? Okay, oh god. 14 times 13 is not 196, 182 times 11, so that's 1820 plus 182. This seems too big. Ouch. Okay, so that doesn't work. God damn it. I was sure that was going to be the answer, because they're both the same number. When you do n minus 3, has to equal 11. So n is 14. So then you do 14 factorial over 5 factorial times 9 factorial. Yes. Pretty sure this has to work, but obviously not, because I'm getting an answer of 2002. It is way too big. Let me have a rethink. Sometimes my lack of ability to read a question, even in a foreign language I don't speak, but still, my lack of ability to read a question does still amaze me. I probably shouldn't at this point, because I have misread the question. There's so much going on with the translation, as we've seen. It's frazzling my brain. So what I've done is I've calculated it wrong. It's not 5 and 3, because the answer I was getting wasn't there, so I'm rereading what I've done and I've just spotted it. It's not V and Z that are the same, it's Y and Z that are the same. So I'm an idiot. So what we've actually got, if I sort of go back now, is we're actually saying that n minus 11 is 5, so n is 16. So the answer I want, V, is 16 factorial over 3 factorial, 13 factorial, which is much easier to calculate, because now it's 16 times 15 times 14 divided by 6, because it's divided by 3 times 2. So that's 16 times 5 times 7, which is 16 times 35. I mean, it's not exactly easy to calculate. 16 times 35. So what's that? That's 480 plus 80 is 560. Remember that being an answer. It is an answer, right? So it's B. All right, okay. So I did somehow figure out what the question was, right? Because now I'm getting an answer, so I'm pretty sure this is correct. But gosh, that translation does not help. Okay. Very silly of me, but at least I spotted my own mistake. I mean, mainly because there was multiple choice and my answer wasn't there, but you know, we'll take it. We'll take the small victories. Right, 30, what are we doing on 30? Ooh, I've got a verification thing. I mean, I hope it's not going to ask me to prove that I am human. In order to log into a website, users must select all the squares containing the parts of the car. Classic. Click confirm. Ida, who wanted to enter the site, randomly selected 4 different frames and clicked the confirm. What is the probability? So we're just working out probability then, aren't we? So bit of an odd one, but sure. We are randomly picking squares, so we can do probability then. So it's 4 out of 9. We need that to be correct, which means there's 3 left out of the remaining 8, which means there's 2 out of the remaining 7, which means there's 1 out of the remaining 6. So I'm going to cancel these and cancel the 3, the 2, and the 6. And the 4 is going to cancel with an 8 to give me a 2. So I think what I've got, simplifying this now, is going to be a 1 on the top over 9 times 14. So that is 1 over 126, which, thank God, is an answer. So the answer is E. Right, so that's 30 done, which in theory is 3/4 of the questions. But at this point, I feel like I'm kind of taking the mick a little bit on the time, because again, if my understanding was correct, I was supposed to have only spent 30 minutes on these 30 questions, and I've clearly spent more than 30 minutes. I may have misread the instructions. Maybe you don't answer all the questions. I have no clue, because again, it's translated exam, so I am just guessing. But I think at this point, given how fried my brain is and how much over time I am, I think it's probably fair for me to stop. As annoying as it is, but I don't think I've got the energy to try and plow on through another 10 questions, given they seem to be getting, I wouldn't say harder, but they definitely don't get any easier. And I'm very much just so over time at this point. So I think I'm going to call it, right? I'm going to try and be fair-ish, let's say. I'm going to say I have reached as much as I feel like I can solve in a reasonable amount of time. So I'm going to stop. I've done 30 out of 40, and I think we're going to stop. For my sanity, for your sanity having to watch this. So I'm going to mark these 30. Well, I'm going to go and have a lie down, as always, and even more so today, I think, than usual. And then I'm going to mark these 30. Let's see what I scored out of 30, but remembering, really, that's my score out of 40. So in a way, I suppose the maximum I can get is actually going to be 75%, because I haven't answered them all, and I've definitely run out of time. So I'm going to go have a little lie down, and then we'll do the marking. All right, marking time. The good news is this should be nice and easy and quick, because it's multiple choice. The answers are written out in front of me on the mark scheme. So if I've got the right letter, I get the mark, we move on. Okay, so question 1 is E. Yes. Question 2 is A, get in. 3D, 4B, 5C, back when I could do them. 6D, 7E, 8A, 9A. I've written A or D, but I circled A. I remember that one. 10E, yes, so far so. Okay, 10 out of 10 so far, which is nice. Obviously, I was taking my time. 11 was D, fab. 12, also D. That was a guess. Well, kind of half a guess. Didn't understand composition. 13, 13's wrong. Okay, so this is the logic one. Okay, so maybe I'll come back to that one in a moment, but 13 should have been A, right? So that's my first, I've got 12 out of 13. First dropped mark there. 14B, good. 15A, 16A, kind of guessed that one. Because of the translation issues, 17B, good. 18D, awesome. 19C, 20C, 21A, it's going better than anticipated. 22E, 23E. Okay. Oh, this is the one I guessed, wasn't it? This was the one. Okay, this is the one that had an entire conversation in Turkish, and I couldn't translate the image, or at least my AI didn't translate the image for me, so I just guessed, right? So that's fine, because I've written no working. I was like, why didn't I write any working? Okay, fine. So that one, was never getting that one anyway. So that's fine. 24C, good. Ooh, that one I wasn't sure about. 25 is D, good. 26, oh God, this bus question's better be right. C, thank God. That bus question. 27B, yep, liked that one. A, liked that one. 29 is B, the one where I found my own mistake, because the answer I got wasn't in the mark scheme. And then 30 is E. Okay, so I answered 30. I've got 28 out of 30. One of them was because it couldn't, well, I say couldn't translate it. My AI companion did not translate the image, so I couldn't interpret the conversation in text that was had about guessing apartment numbers. So I just guessed an answer. So obviously I got that one wrong. And then the logic one. So I'm actually interested in this logic one. So I am going to break tradition and look at this question again, because I'm intrigued to know. The answer should have been, what was it? It was question 13. So the answer should have been A. So this is where I was trying to argue not this, not the other. And I feel like I ruled out A, didn't I? Okay, so A has, let's see, so they all have to be rectangular. So that is true. They're all rectangular. Okay, because I'd worked that one out initially, so that has to be true. And then I've said it's the complement of P or Q. Oh, wait. So the complement of P or Q. So I should draw a Venn diagram, shouldn't I? Oh, that's what I've done wrong. Okay, glad I rethought about this because this is interesting. So if I'd drawn this as a Venn diagram, right, for P and Q, so this is P and this is Q. So the complement of P or Q is all of this. So what it means is I need not P and not Q, and that was A. I ruled it out because I thought it meant one of them. Oh, I should have drawn a Venn diagram. Okay, so I should have known that. Right, fine. So this is, the green area is not P and not Q. Okay, because it's not P or Q. Okay, should have drawn a Venn diagram. That was silly. Right, so that one was on me. The other one was on ChatGPT for being terrible at translating. And the final 10 were on me for being too slow. Right, I already took way longer than I should. So I think that's 28 out of 30. I'm happy with that for the 30 I answered, because again, one was a guess, and I just should have drawn a Venn diagram to do the logic question. But it's actually 28 out of 40, really, isn't it? So that's actually going to look quite bad now. So what's 28 out of 40? Oof. I can't even do the maths on that. It was 28 out of 40, so that's... Is that going to just about be 70%? Okay. Ouch. So if I'm going according to I should have done all 40, that is a 70% mark. I don't know if that's a good mark or a bad mark. I don't know what people get on this exam, or again, I don't even know if you're meant to actually answer all 40, and especially if you're meant to do them all in that time limit of 40-ish minutes, which clearly I took longer on. I have no idea. People in Turkey, students of Turkey, please tell me, whether I did this right, whether I was following the instructions, whether I just made it all up and did my own exam. But anyway, I tried to answer 30 questions. One of them was a guess. One of them I should have drawn a diagram. So I got 28 out of the 30 I tried to answer, but I took way too long than what I think I was supposed to take. So not my best performance, but certainly a lot of fun. Right, so that just leaves my ranking. Where does the Turkish exam sit on my list of exams I've taken? Now, I'm going to put out a disclaimer, which is the way I have interpreted this exam, and this could be wrong, but the way I have just tried to do it in this video, which was, in theory, to try and answer 40 questions in just over 40 minutes. I only got through 30, and I took a lot longer than 40 minutes. So for those reasons alone, this has to be the hardest. Again, I may have completely misinterpreted how long you have for this exam, or I may have misinterpreted how many questions you're supposed to answer. You know, maybe you only pick the ones you like the look of. I honestly don't know. Please tell me. But if I am interpreting this in the same way that I have throughout this video, answering those 40 questions in just over 40 minutes is pretty much impossible. So for that reason alone, completely on time pressure, it's by far the hardest. In terms of difficulty of questions, it feels like it's sitting somewhere in the middle. It feels like sort of, the maths wasn't that hard, was it? It just required a lot of thinking. So I think my brain's a bit too scrambled, and the time pressure was so intense, I'm struggling to see where it might fit. But for example, I don't think I did any calculus. So the concepts weren't that advanced, but the time pressure was insane. So again, if I've interpreted it correctly, which was do those 40 questions, of which I only got through 30, in even less time than it took me, it has to be the hardest, because that's just nigh on impossible. As usual, please let me know what you think in the comments. How did you get on? Did you manage to do more than 30 questions in a faster time than I did? I've put the paper, a link for you to download the paper, in the video description box below, so go check that out. The mark scheme is actually right at the end of the paper, so don't scroll too far, but you can find the math section. You will need to translate it. It is in Turkish, but you can just use, well, hopefully a better AI than I used, because as we saw, that also did not help, especially for speed, as I was trying to have to figure out what the question was in the first place. But yeah, please let me know in the comments if I've done something silly. Someone from Turkey, students of Turkey, please tell me what I should have done here, like how long I should have had and how many questions I should have answered. Because there's no way, surely I was not meant to do 40 questions in 40 minutes, because that's basically impossible. But interpreting it that way, that's why it's the hardest, that's why it's right at the bottom. Hardest one I've done so far, purely for that time pressure. So thank you as always for watching the video. Thank you for supporting the channel. Please do subscribe, like, share, you know the drill by now. And if you really want to support the channel, then you can also sign up for the Tom Rocks Maths Patreon. All the links you need are in that video description box. You'll get early access to some of the videos, and also, of course, get the videos without ads, plus a few behind the scenes photos, including some from my recent appearance on Countdown. So lots to look forward to there if that's your thing. But otherwise, thank you for watching. See you next time.